Welcome to the last week of May, folks. It is the podcast for the week of May 23rd through the 29th, 2022. Can you even believe it? I have to say it one more time just for myself. It is the last week of May. We are officially at that halfway mark for the year. So if you want to, do some good Mercury Retrograde work this week, you might want to check back in with where you were at in January. You might want to check back into what those resolutions looked like. You might just want to check back in and see if the goals that you set for yourself at the top of the calendar year are still in alignment. They're still what you want. Or have you already accomplished some of them and now you need to reevaluate and reassign yourself some new resolutions and some new goals and some new ambitions? And ambition's going to be one of the key words of this week because Mars has his homecoming. He is entering his favorite sign of Aries on Tuesday, and baby, he is going to pick up the speed. He is going to just accelerate. He is going to take you through some things for the next several weeks because he has been sludging and just as quick as he can in the swamp or in quicksand all through Pisces these last few weeks, and now he's finally getting to his favorite sign. And who does he join there when he gets to his favorite sign? The great expander Jupiter. And that's all happening this week. And then Venus changes signs. She gets to her favorite sign, so she calms down. She gets out of Aries and warrior mode and goes into domestic goddess mode, security-loving, consistency-loving Venus and Taurus. So we like that, but this does make this week real rocky and real turbulent because you got two sign shifts. You still got Mercury retrograde. You got Mars meeting up with Jupiter. So Mars takes 2 years to get to Aries anyway. So every 2 years we get him back to his homecoming. So he's going to be wrapping up a 2-year story from 2020. And he's going to be initiating another 2-year cycle when he gets to Aries. But then on Sunday, when he gets to his meetup, his meetup with Jupiter on Sunday, and he's going to make that conjunction, he's going to make that connection, and he's going to start another 2-year cycle because they get together every 2 years. And this is it. So we got cycles ending and beginning all week. We're still in the midst of eclipses. We still are in the midst of Mercury retrograde. Next week we're going to be okay. We got new moon energy next week. Just to give you a little flash forward, so you know what we're coming up. Just so you get an idea. We got the new moon next week. We have Saturn stationing retrograde, and we've got Mercury stationing direct. So we've got a potent couple of weeks. Now, the great thing is that this is the last week of eclipses. Okay, so we can expect the turbulence. We can expect the curveballs and all the fast-paced, false sense of urgency. I have to do this now. This is over. I just can't take it anymore. All of that energy will start to subside once we get to that Gemini new moon because it's going to take us out of eclipses. However, all of you that have been following along for a while know that some ecliptic events can happen even up to a month prior to eclipse season and up to a month after eclipse season. So I don't want you to get married to this idea. Now, for in general, yes, eclipse season will be over. But that does not mean that there won't be eclipse-like events. It'll just be, you'll see. I'll coach you through it. I'm not gonna do any kind of no, I'm not trying to scare anybody because I know that some people got scared when I was talking about eclipses and the fact that Mercury retrograde was happening in the middle of it. Here we are. we're still here. We're still making it. We're still going through. We're still accepting and embracing life-changing opportunities, life-altering moments. We're still here. We're going. We're consistent. We're, going day to day. Last week I told you to stay open. The week prior I told you to stay flexible. And if you just keep those little phrases in the back of your mind, when things come up, just say, have like good devil, bad devil, but just good gram, bad gram, but they're all good grams. As far as astrologer gram. Now, real life gram, can go in another way, but at least you have good and bad astrologer gram saying, what did he say? What did he say on the podcast this week? Stay open, or stay flexible. And this week I'll tell you both, stay open and flexible. When you got sign changes, you're shifting the energy, so it just, Pisces to Aries, that's a big jump. That's deep blue sea into light him on fire, and now he's running along the shores of the beach. That's the energy of Mars. Like, oh my God, I'm finally out of the water. I can finally breathe again, and now I can just run. And, it's going to be running, but the back of your shirt and pants are on fire. So, we're going to be accelerating in a very big way. Venus leaving Aries and getting into Taurus, well, that makes her from, armor all on, saying, I wish you would try me. Come on. You want to connect with me? Well, then guess what? Now then she's going to lay the armor down and go, well, I think I would like to connect with you in a heartfelt way. I think I would like to connect with you and on a consistent basis. I think I would like you to make me feel secure now. And security to me looks like consistency, looks like passion, looks like satisfying all five senses. Oh, maybe even, buying me something nice, maybe taking me out to a nice dinner. Where Venus and Aries is like, I want what I want when I want it. So we're shifting these energies, and Mars and Venus, both two of our power planets, as far as the personal planets go. When they shift signs, we feel it. We feel the energetic shift, and you're gonna, you get bumped on Tuesday where Mars leaves Pisces, enters Aries, and then on Saturday, Venus leaves Aries and goes into Taurus. And then on Sunday, Mars meets up with Jupiter. And so we have this powerful, potent energy this week of cycles ending and beginning, eclipses changing and altering, retrograde revisiting, re-advising, all the RE words, okay? Anything that you can think of, RE words. Mercury's doing all that. And this is all happening simultaneously. So it's a very layered week. It's a very potent week. But what I would like to just focus on is this Mars homecoming. He is going into his favorite sign. This is a nice patch of time. The last time he was in Aries was 2020, and he was retrograde, so he was in Aries for a long time. And by the time he reached the last degree of Aries, and before he switched into Taurus at the top of 2021, that's when we had the insurrection on Capitol Hill. So, but that was that retrograde, right? That retrograde, then he was like a pressure cooker. So he was in his favorite sign, but he was retrograde, so he was slowed down. It was like putting the lid on a pot of boiling water. And then by the time he reached the anaretic degree, that's that last degree of Aries, that was the day of the insurrection. So the pressure cooker popped. So this year we actually do have a Mars retrograde, but the Mars retrograde this year is happening in Gemini. So the interesting thing is that Mercury currently retrograde in Taurus, because yesterday, Sunday, the 22nd, he retrograded back into Taurus, but for that first part of his retrograde, he was in Gemini. So I want you to pay attention, particularly to this Mercury retrograde, because happening in the sign of Gemini, you're getting a little bit of a preview. You're getting a little bit of messaging now that's going to hearken and come back to you this fall when Mars is retrograde through the sign of Gemini. And he's going to be riding in Gemini for a while. Okay, so, this fall is a condensed amount of aspects, condensed amount of energy, And it's all happening really in that September through December. And it's power packed, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be a doozy. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We got through 2020, and if we can get through 2020, we can get through anything. Okay. So regardless of what I tell you, what's going on in the stars, I don't want anyone to think that, I'm pushing some negative astrology down your throats. I'm not. I'm just telling you what it is. But the Mercury retrograde this time around, I want you to just kind of keep notes, pay close attention, and you're going to see how what's going on right now, you're getting a little bit of a preview of what you're going to do with information that you receive or you deal with during this time. You're going to see that Mars retrograde is going to say, okay, now we're going to do something with it. We're going to do something about it. We're going to make a move on it. So you'll see. I also want to apologize to all of you because last week I totally got retrograded halfway through recording the podcast. Because I do the YouTube through my phone, but I record the audio on my laptop, I got retrograded last week. I sure did, and my computer died halfway through recording the podcast, and I never got around to re-recording the audio. So last week, the podcast was only available on YouTube, so I hope those of you that follow me on Instagram, I hope that you guys saw that, because that was a total shite show. And it was a week. It was a week. There was a lot going on. There was a lot of twists and turns and a lot of like, oh my gosh, okay. And there's a lot of reunions. So great, Mercury retrograde work there. Reuniting with old colleagues and old friends. That was really fun. So I hope you're kind of doing the same thing. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope that you're reconnecting with people that you haven't seen in a while and that, that you feel good about. Retrogrades they're good for reuniting you and reconnecting you with people that, been long lost friends, long lost lovers or whatever. But if there are people that you don't want to hear from, they're kind of like, oh God, can I please? Can we not? Can we not? And that's the whole idea of a retrograde, right? It's just an opportunity to reevaluate the terms of engagement, in terms of relationships, but it's a question. Do you like the status of this relationship, or would you like to renegotiate the terms of the agreement and move forward in a new way? Or are you just like, nope, you're staying blocked, or nope, still not coming up in here? It's up to you. But that's all the retrogrades are doing. There's just like little check-ins of like, hey, you good here? You feel good here? Or would you like to alter this in some way, shape, or form? So just consider that if and when you're still hearing from some ghost from your past. This is the last full week of Mercury retrograde. So keep that in your back mind and your back pocket, because next week Mercury will station direct, but Saturn stations retrograde. So we've got some crossfires happening next week. But that goes without saying. Other than that, I think that covers all of what I wanted to discuss as far as just a brief little intro. So let's get to the moons, and we'll get to the planets, and we'll get you onto your week, because it's a potent week, it's a powerful week, cycles ending and beginning week, and that means you got things to do, and things to start, and things to wrap up, things to finish. So here we go. When we start the week, Monday the 23rd, the moon is in Pisces. It has a lovely sextile to Uranus. All the times I give you are Pacific time, so make sure you adjust for your time zone. But that sextile to Uranus is in middle afternoon, 12:54 p.m. That's great. Also, on Monday the 23rd, Sun-Jupiter sextile. That is wonderful. Moving forward, expansion, growth. Lovely day for meetings. A great day to kind of rile up your team at work. And just say, okay, this is how we want to move forward. This is how we want to grow. Mercury retrograde does have a nice sextile to Mars at 8:27 p.m. So Monday is just a great day for all things connection. You want to talk about strategy plans. You want to, have meetings. You want to make a pitch. Great day for that. Now, our busy day this week is Tuesday the 24th. The moon is making a lot of aspects. The Pisces moon has a conjunction to Neptune. Lovely aspects with Pluto and Mercury. And then it goes void at 2:33 p.m. with a conjunction to Mars. So just before Mars enters Aries, the moon has a nice little conjunction there with Mars and goes, okay, this is our last little sleepy time aspect, and then Mars is going to pick up, ramp up, and it's going to take off. At 2:39 p.m., so the moon is only void for 6 minutes. That's great. The moon enters Aries, has immediately a conjunction to Jupiter, a sextile to the sun. So lovely aspects. So Tuesday's busy, but there's a great aspects. On Wednesday the 25th, the Aries moon has a conjunction to Chiron, so a little bit of a wounding there on Wednesday, maybe some sadness, maybe residual sadness, now that, by that point on Wednesday, Mars will be in Aries, ramping up the action. By this point, it's just like, okay, let's just see, conjunctions can go either way, but there's just a little bit of an awareness of the wound, awareness of, some hurt, pain, but that's the only aspect that the moon makes that day, and then we'll talk about what the planets are doing. On Thursday the 26th, the Aries moon has a sextile to Saturn, conjunction to Venus, all really nice, but it goes void at 8:20 p.m. with a square to Pluto. So that's the thing about our cardinal sign moons. When the moon is in a cardinal sign, they are squaring that Pluto. So that makes the Aries moon from Tuesday afternoon to Thursday evening separative, argumentative, stressful, changes that are assertive, aggressive, and Aries square Pluto, it's a war aspect. So you just want to be aware that your Aries and Capricorn planets and houses, they're going to be they're going to be contentious Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're going to be a little separative, a little argumentative, but they're action oriented. So when we have a closing aspect of a square, we know that the stress that we feel, the tension that we feel, it's solved and resolved through action. So in order to get on the other side, you got to go through it, and you got to handle it, and you got to just do it. So just keep in mind that, your Aries and Capricorn planets they're turned up in the middle of the week. The moon enters Taurus Thursday the 26th at 11:22 p.m. It is in Taurus all day Friday the 27th, making 0 zilch aspects. So Friday can be a day where you take a day off, where you just go, you know what? I am just going to sit my ass here at home, and I'm not going to do anything. Or you can just design the day to be like your best day. What looks great to you? What sounds great? You can treat yourself under this Taurus moon, especially on Friday, because it's not making any aspects. And that is not a bad thing at all. You can kind of DIY your Friday. I'll give you the cosmic permission slip for that. I can't say that your bosses or that your teachers or I can't say that everyone's going to sign off on it and say, okay, your astrologer said so, okay. I can't give you that promise, but I can say, from a cosmic perspective, you can DIY your Friday and you just make it exactly what you want. Find the Taurus part of your chart. I mean, for me, it's in 9th house, travel, kind of like, should I take a road trip? My partner and I, who you can see, the YouTube, you can see a picture of us in the back. But it is our 2-year anniversary this Wednesday, the 25th. So I'm like, should we be taking a trip? Maybe we should take a trip. Because that Taurus moon is going to be hitting my 9th house and meeting up with Uranus, meeting up with my natal north node. So, we're going to see. Let's see. If your astrologer's on the run this weekend, you can't be surprised because it just kind of hit me right now. On Saturday, the 28th, the Taurus moon has that conjunction to Uranus at 6:50 in the morning. It is also the day that Venus enters Taurus. And then Sunday, the 29th, the Taurus moon goes void at 7:11 a.m. with a trine to Pluto. So that is lovely, juicy, collaborative, just great, flowy, good luck vibes under that Taurus moon. So late Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, into early morning. That Taurus Moon is great for connections, great for relationships, great for sexy curveballs. Okay, because it does have that. It meets up with Uranus at 6:50 on Saturday morning. And then the moon at 10:23 a.m. on Sunday enters Gemini, where it has lovely sextiles to Jupiter and Mars. And then, of course, Monday, Memorial Day, the 30th, we have the Gemini new moon, ending eclipse season. And then Tuesday next week, 31st, that Gemini moon goes void with a trine to Saturn. So all the moons this week, okay, outside of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But even though that Aries moon in the middle of the week has a harsh closing aspect, the aspects that it makes on a daily aren't so bad. So even though there's stress and contention there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the moons every day are making some pretty nice solid aspects. So just think, forward motion. Pisces moon at the top of the week, you're wrapping up. You're ending. You're a little sleepy. Even right now, your astrologer's a little sleepy because the last few weeks have been crazy in a lot of really good ways. But they've been crazy nonetheless. And I'm sure for you, everyone's having eclipses and everyone's having a retrograde. So, hey. But yeah, it's pretty nice. It's just in that midsection of the week, there can be arguments and stress and separation. Okay, so let's see. Monday, we talked about the Sun-Jupiter sextile and the Mercury retrograde with Mars. On Tuesday, the Mars enters Aries at 4:17 p.m. So that's his homecoming, the beginning. So he's going to close out his 2-year story from 2020. And now he's going to initiate another 2-year cycle that we will be living under until 2024. And it's all about, and those of you that are on the newsletter, you'll see I have written in there, that Aries energy is a nice permission slip, okay, to think about you, yourself, and you. It's not a hall pass to be a dick by any means. Excuse me if any of you are listening with children around. It doesn't give you the hall pass, but what it does give you is just a chance to say, is this what I want? Is this the direction that I want to go? And if you've been real fuzzy and murky with Mars and Pisces these last several weeks, Mars and Aries is going to ramp up and go, okay, it's decision time. It's time to punch it. And what direction are we going? Because Mars and Aries is going to be looking for a direction. So if you get slam dunked under the skies this week because you're being a little wishy-washy, just know that's that Mars and Aries. And then when he meets up with Jupiter, who expands everything, he expands the energy of acceleration on Sunday. So when that meetup happens, it's like, okay, no, this is the direction, because Mars and Aries is demanding of a direction because he's been sludging in the sea for far too long, and now he's ready for direction, motion, action, inspiration, all the things that are action. It's just all about, okay, let's make a strategy, let's pick a direction, make a strategy, and move on it, okay? Then on Wednesday, Mercury retrograde has a trine to Pluto. Now, this is the second of 3 trines to Pluto. So you can go back to April 28th, go back to that week, and look, who were you talking to? Were you making deals? Were you making proposals and pitches? Because now this is part 2 of the story. Anyone that you were connecting with then, this is a time, if you haven't heard back, if you haven't, or if you didn't even realize, like, oh yeah, I talked to that person this week and we didn't follow up. This is the week to follow up. Okay, and you're going to think about, the changes that you're making, the greater changes. Pluto in Capricorn, he's dissolving infrastructure, and he's looking to create a new sense of infrastructure and foundation in your life. And Mercury working with him, Mercury retrograde working with him, says, okay, we have a 3-part story here around our evolution. So how are you evolving? How are conversations you were having back in April 28th? Who were you talking to? What were you talking about? How was change involved in the conversation? Because now this is the week to follow up. You can either take it upon yourself and reach back out, or you can kind of say, all right, on Wednesday, I'm going to be a little cognizant of like, okay, maybe now I'm going to start hearing back from people that I've reached out to. And then we'll wrap up that story June 10th when Mercury moving forward meets up with Pluto for a third and final time. Now, also on Wednesday, Vesta, our home and hearth asteroid, enters Pisces. So now home and hearth is like also our body as our temple. So if you've been a little space cadet-y on taking care of yourself, like, okay, a little bit of a focus here and then a little like, oh, well, oops. Now we can it can add another layer of like, okay, now I'm just being lazy. Vesta's in Pisces, Vesta's looking for that, like, home and hearth energy, that like warm, fuzzy energy, but also like for some consistency and some stability. In Pisces, it's a real wishy and washy. So, take extra care to, one, go into the yin. If you're someone who is super active all the time, Vesta in Pisces is like, hey, can you kind of balance this out with like some chill and some naps and some like 8-hour nights of sleep, please? But if you're someone that's been, more so like me, your astrologer, who's in an 80-day food and nutrition program, but all the last week I was like, I can't do it. I have been, working for 3 straight weeks, and then last week I was like, I just can't. This is a lot going on. There's a lot happening at the same time, and I'm gonna need to just, I'm gonna need to not. Vesta in Pisces for me is gonna be, like, okay, Graham, like, stick to your Virgo guns, stick to that routine. You've started this program, so just keep going. But I'm human too, this is why I always joke, astrologer Graham and real life Graham, they have some polarizing conversations sometimes where I'm like, it's written right there. The astrology's right there. But why do you not listen to yourself sometimes? So, I'm still human. But I encourage all of you to listen to astrologer Graham because he's got the goods. He's got the goods. Real life Graham can relate to you all day, every day, because I'm still human. But astrologer Graham and real life Graham have been getting along pretty well, though. So I gotta say, the two are pretty aligned lately. But I'm just saying, when it comes to this home and hearth energy, like I'm like, okay, because Vesta in Aquarius is in my 6th house of routines and self-care and working out and nutrition. It's in all of that. But now it's going into Pisces where I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Now I'm in my 7th house of just relating, connecting, partnering. We're in Gemini season now. So now it's like, oh gosh, so many distractions. I could go hang out with so-and-so. I could go, like what I can do. Let me take this person to get an in-person reading and, let's go to the beach instead of like doing it at, wherever. So now it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to, who's going to be my accountability partner? Any of you out there want to be my accountability partner with Vesta and Pisces? Let's move on. I digress. On Thursday the 26th, Venus does have a square to Pluto at 11:29 p.m. So kind of, you East Coasters and beyond, Friday the 27th, even though that Taurus Moon's not making any aspects that day, that Venus square Pluto kind of resides over that Thursday, Friday. So that's some stress and separation within relationships. Now, it's financial dynamics, that's relationship dynamics, it's friends, it's just Venus square Pluto is like, okay, this is stress, and on a relationship level and a financial level. Venus is what we desire, how we connect and partner. Pluto, again, is in Capricorn in that foundation. So just before Venus gets into her favorite sign, she has a kerfuffle. And she wants one thing and Pluto wants another thing, and Pluto wants to change and evolve in a certain way. So ask yourself if the stress that you're feeling, if the stressful conversation or the tension that you experience under a Venus square Pluto, just ask yourself, is it uncomfortable because it's asking you to change? Is it uncomfortable because it's different? And maybe different in this case is better. Venus in Aries, though, she's going to throw down. She might have some words about it, and she might be dramatic about it. Pluto in Capricorn is more steadfast and not budging and not compromising. But Aries energy isn't necessarily either. And that's why Venus is stressed in Aries, because she's, she in Libra, in her Libra I'm drawing a blank on the word I'm looking for, but in her Libra expression, she's all about justice and fairness and balance and harmony. And in Taurus, she's about that balance and harmony too, but in a different way, in a more grounded way. So in Aries, she's in fight or flight mode, and Pluto in Capricorn is not budging. So just keep that open. You already know the middle of the week with the Aries moon is contentious and separative, but that Venus square Pluto adds another layer to that. And you just want to see, like, is this uncomfortable or tense because it's asking me to change my perspective or change my outlook, change how I am proceeding with something? And is that change a bad thing? Keep that in mind. Then Saturday the 28th, Venus enters Taurus at 7:46 a.m. She's happy as a clam in Taurus, so just soak up all that domestic goodness, cuddle time, relationship time, good food time. Just, wine and dine yourself, treat you and your partner if you have one. If you've got several bays, just line them up. Give them all dedicated time and say, you know what, if you want to spend time with me, you can take me out Thursday night at 6, but I got to be back by 8:30 because I have another date at 9 o'clock. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, good times. But I stick by what I say. And then on Sunday the 29th, that is that Mars-Jupiter conjunction. Another 2-year cycle ending and beginning. Now, it hasn't happened in Aries since 2011. So if you want to go back to 2011, you can go back then and be like, oh, wow, okay, how was that? How did 2011 look? And I tell you what, I was busy. Now, Aries energy for me is in my 8th house, so I was making a lot of money in 2011, and I was just active in go, go, go mode. So keep that in mind, too. You're going to be in go, go, go mode, and how was that translating for you in 2011? Because now that's where this, that's where you can get a little preview of like this specific meetup between these two. You can get an idea of the energy. And that's it, folks. So I've mentioned it in my newsletter. And if you're not on the newsletter, just go to the show notes on YouTube or show notes on your podcast platform. And you can join the list. There's a link there. Just click it, put your email in, and bam, you'll get weekly horoscopes, monthly horoscopes, some new and full moon reports here and there, all kinds of things. But as I mentioned, the Gemini season limited edition candle has been dropped. So if you want to see what that is, you got to be on the newsletter, and it's first come, first serve. So if you're looking to get your favorite Gemini a special customized astrologer-made candle set, and it's a really cool set, if I should say so myself, then get on that newsletter and click that Buy Now button, because it's only good for Gemini season. And once it's gone, because it's in its own vessels. Gemini season's sign of double, so it's not just one candle. You'll see. Those of you that are on the newsletter, it's already in there, but get it while you can. Okay, that's it for me. I will see you on social media all week long, and I hope you have an amazing week, an amazing last week of eclipses, a last full week of Mercury Retrograde, and happy Mars and Aries and Mars-Jupiter meetup. End those cycles, focus on the beginning energy, that new energy, because these Taurus-Scorpio eclipses have been rupturing a lot from the deep. So use this as an opportunity to start fresh. Give yourself permission to have some of that new moon energy even before next week's new moon in Gemini. Okay, so that's it for me. I will see you on social media all week long. Have a great one.